Here's a chance for a motoring enthusiast to win, thanks to our friends at Shannon's.
Are you a motoring enthusiast? Shannon's are giving you the chance to win a trip for two to London for the 2023 Goodwood Revival. The 11-day trip includes airfares, luxury accommodation, car hire, Goodwood Revival hospitality tickets, and $10,000 spending money for eligible Shannon's Club members. Plus, win the all-new Indian motorcycle Scout Bobber. Get 10 entries when you take out new Shannon's insurance on your special car, spouse's car, daily drive or bike. And 5 entries for new Shannon's home insurance. Call Shannon's on 13 46 46 or go online today. Here this weekend at the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12-hour. Australian fans are seeing for the very first time here at Bathurst BP Pulse. Now this is BP's global electrification brand. It offers high-speed, high-quality charging solutions for EV drivers. charging units like this one are going to become a very regular sight here in Australia, with BP's ambitions to roll out 600 of these around the country, not just in metropolitan areas, but also to keep you moving up and down the East Coast in some regional areas as well. It's all part of that customer service. As they're going to start to roll these out around the country and offer you the chance to indulge in the food and beverage options as well. And it's already beginning here in Australia, not just here at Harris Park at Bathurst, but motor racing fans might notice them popping up in some very familiar areas, such as BP Eastern Creek, just around the corner from Sydney Motorsport Park. So there you go, BP Pulse, now on show here at the Liquimilli Bathurst 12 Hour.
The shootout is about to begin, and one of the drivers who is thrilled to be taking part in it for the first time, I think I'm right in saying, Aaron Cameron, welcome to the mountain in the form of primetime GT3 car for the first time. It's a bit different when you got a bit more horsepower, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, really. First time in a GT3 car this weekend, first time on new tyres in quali, and it was so much fun. You got ABS, TC, cool suit. It's their absolute dream to drive. The Merc is one of the best cars from what everyone says, and yeah, going by what Maro did in quali was good, and yeah, to be in the shootout with Sagani Motorsport is just, yeah, it's pretty insane, and credit to all the boys.
How did this whole deal come together? Because as I understand, it was a pretty last moment thing.
Yeah, it was pretty last minute. I was doing a personal training session, and then we just sort of got talking about what I want to do, and then, yeah, I said the 12 hour, and another guy, Devarshan, who also trains with the same guy, yeah, and he said there's a drive there. I was like, well, all right, well, give me his number, and I called him, and yeah, Marcel and me did the deal pretty quick, and yeah, here we are, and we're in the bloody shootout.
Good luck, my friend.
Awesome, thank you, cheers.
A couple of legends of Australian motorsport here in Mick Doohan and Kenny Harwell, the champ. Kenny, back this year, new car, you're in the top 10 shootout. You're in pretty good position.
Thank you. Yeah, really happy. Thanks to Mercedes AMG. The car's strong. It's a new car. And, of course, I love this place more than anywhere in the world, so I'm excited. The guys are quick. We're in a good spot. But, you know, like all races, the first 11 hours don't matter. Try and stay out of trouble.
Your passion last year was fantastic. You had obviously a great run last year. Has that just fueled the hunger for this place?
It's more than ever. You know, to be honest, I'm a little more relaxed because I wanted to win it so badly. And I feel like I don't have to stress as much, but as I got into the weekend, I realised I'm more stressed. But
that should work.
No, I did a good time yesterday, you know, on full tank and old tyres. So the car's quick, everyone's comfortable. Biggest thing is just stay out of trouble.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, listen, good luck. Mick, great to see you back here. I know you love this place. What's so special about Mount Panorama for you?
It's just iconic, part of Australian motorsport history and heritage, isn't it? So, and then to come down here and see these cars, the AMGs especially, and that's why they're the majority of the field, really, because they're just spectacular around here. And how quick are they going as well? So, and essentially they're not that far removed in reality from a street car.
Your old mate Valentino Rossi can drive all right too.
He goes all right with a few extra wheels, doesn't he? So, you know, but I mean, it's amazing how he's transitioned so quickly into the four wheels, but equally it's great for Bathurst and this event, because, you know, it's a lot of people that come back to see Kenny, of course, the reigning champion, but Valentino's clearly brought a lot of people here. The lineup was unbelievable out the back of his van there before for his autograph session. So, look, it's great. It's great for Australian motorsport in general.
All our motorbike champs are very popular here, Mick, as you know. Enjoy it. Good luck, Kenny. So we've got a big weekend coming for you. Don't forget, Shootout is on its way right now. Stay tuned. But don't forget to, in a month or so, we're at Newcastle for the Supercars.
Supercars will hit the streets of Newcastle in a much-anticipated return to the Supercars calendar. And if past events are anything to go by, you won't want to miss this.
They've hit on the way up the hill. Frankie's out of business. He's off the road.
Tickets are on sale from ticketek.com.au and all the action live.
Bathurst is home to many great attractions, but you would expect this place to have an excellent car museum, and it does. The National Motor Racing Museum is located just behind Murray's Corner, and it has got an incredible array of Bathurst history located in it. 2 wheels and 4, and some stuff you wouldn't expect as well. There's a NASCAR in there, a Trans Am car in there, and a whole array of great things from the past of this place. Well worth a visit. Go over there, go and say good day to Brad and the team, and they'll look after you. Well, we're getting set for the Pirelli Top 10 Shootout. At the end of it, the Alan Simonson Pole Award, and to help unpick it all, let's go down to the Pirelli pit bunker and say hello to Chad Naylon.
Yes, thank you, Krause. Speaking of attractions here in Mount Panorama, the Pirelli Pit Bunker has become something of a fan favourite over the last few years here at the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 Hour. We're going to be able to use this throughout the course of the race tomorrow to break down strategies, to forecast what might be coming up, to look at the track map, give you some stats and facts, everything that you're going to need to know. But of course, today we're talking about that run in the Pirelli Shootout and what we might be expecting in lap time. So we're going to bring up some data. We know it's going to be a fast race tomorrow. I'm going to be covering how many laps we might get in tomorrow's race when we get there. But I'm going to click down here on the fastest pole times. Now, Krause's been kind enough to help me collate some numbers and explain where we've come from in the past. So these are the 8 quickest pole times. A bit of a mix of these have been set in the shootout and also in the actual outright qualifying sessions. What you'll notice straight away is some very familiar names at the top. So Shane van Gisbergen, up until today, has that quickest time of 2:01.2. Now that time from Mauro Engel earlier was quicker than that, but technically isn't the pole time yet because it's going to come later today. But we do have Mauro down there in 2014, a long, long time ago, 9 years ago, and put himself inside there. Chaz Mostert's been inside it, the only guy other than Shane van Gisbergen to get into the 2:01s for a qualifying lap time. Can he get back up to that sort of speed today? We've had Ferraris, we've had Audis. Can we see Mercedes-AMG back up what they did earlier today? That gives us a bit of a form guide. But poignant, we're in the Pirelli pit bunker right now because the new tyre, they've been talking about it in commentary, they're expecting to see potentially times that are 1.5 seconds quicker than we've ever seen here before. Now, track conditions are better than what we saw earlier today. The UV's come down a bit, which means that the track will be very, very fast. So as we start to build up the speed, guys, with these 15-minute sessions, big chance we delve into uncharted territory. Could we see our very first ever 2 flat around here in the search for the Alan Simons Pole Award? Can't wait.
I'm going to hand that over to our resident racing car driver to answer that question in a minute. I will throw a stat at it nice and early. 6 different brands on pole in the last 6 years, dating back to that record lap from Shane van Gisbergen, McLaren, Ferrari, BMW, Mercedes-AMG, Porsche and Audi last year. Here's the running order, so the bottom 50% and the top 50%, so we can confirm that Chaz made it through in 65. The surprise, and well done to Varshan Padiachi and Aaron Cameron, they dragged the Valmont Racing AMG, a silver class car, into the top 10 shootout. That's the big surprise of the washout from qualifying. So well done to that team. They've been really happy with the balance of their car. So the bottom 50% out now. Pole could come from this session potentially, especially when we've got someone like Chaz Mostert behind the wheel of car number 65. Daniel Juncadella will drive the 77 Craft Bamboo Racing entry. Aaron Cameron, the 44 from Valmont Racing. Maxime Martin, the 46 BMW. And Mattia Drudi, the factory Audi ace in the number 74, the factory Audi entry in the Pro class. So, Garth Tander, Chad poised the question. Chaz is going to do the lap time. Can we see it? What do you think?
A 2-minute point something is the question. Are we going to see it? Well, Mauro Engel's time was 2:01.0. Jules Gounon, who will also drive a Mercedes-AMG, had a faster final sector than Mauro Engel's. So they're all, if we're comparing Mercedes with Mercedes here, so if we put Mauro's first and second sectors in and Jules Gounon's last sector in, that would have got you the 2 minutes, 0.89, I think it was, yeah. So it is theoretically possible from potentially an AMG. Can you all string it all together when it matters, when the pressure's on, to lay down that time? I'm not so sure. It is still slightly warmer than when we qualified, and the wind is gustier now. So that's probably the bigger thing, is the gusts of wind. And the wind that we have at the moment is a tailwind right here, across from McPhillamy to Skyline. So the car behind the cars, lifting the cars and moving and making the cars move more across the crest of Skyline. So that's what Chaz Mostert can qualify himself. So, can it be done? Mathematically, yes. Is it likely to happen? I'm not going to bet my house on it.
It's a good fence.
Isn't that what you racing drivers are meant to do, though? You're meant to perform in the pressure situations, because nobody knows what pole time is going to be right now, so you can't afford to be laying back at all.
No, you won't lay back. And absolutely, it's just a matter of whether the conditions allow and you can get the tyre in the right operating window. I mean, Maro got out of the car. He laid down that time, got out of the car, and that, to me, sort of said, well, I'm not sure I can do that again. or I'm not going to try and repeat that right here, right now. So he has had the benefit, as has everyone, had the benefit of time to sit down, look at some data, analyse things, potentially tune the car a little bit more for this qualifying session and not worry about what I've got race pace-wise or anything like that. Let's just throw the kitchen sink at it, see what we've got qualifying time, and then we'll turn the car into a race car overnight ahead of 12 hours tomorrow.
Potentially the car could be a tad lighter than when we saw them last time, because it is a shorter session.
Yeah, that's true. So that does make a difference. But the teams would have worked out their fuel load to burn it down over the course of that qualifying session earlier. So at the end, they had minimal fuel in the car. This is only a 15-minute session, so you will start with lighter fuel. So that means that this first run can be closer to the money than your actual potential ultimate best when the car's at its lightest.
This is 36-year-old Belgian driver Maxime Martin behind the wheel. This is his second visit to Mount Panorama. His first was in 2020. He was in a Garage 59 Aston Martin that weekend. Solid performance, unfortunately ended with a DNF outside of his control, but looking forward to seeing what he can do in the BMW. It's the first we've seen so far in this Pirelli shootout.
So already a third of this session has been burned. And remember what we've been saying, particularly Gartander talking to the teams. It is not going to be get out there and heat the tyres up on lap one. This is an iterative process with this new Pirelli compound, working with new regulations as well on minimum tyre pressure. And all of the teams have had to get their heads around this.
We're watching the factory Audi run by Troy Russell's Melbourne Performance Centre squad out of Melbourne. And Mattia Drudy just building up. Remember, it's going to take a couple of laps to get up to that proper pace that we've been talking about. Some cars can get on it earlier. The Audis have been taking a few laps to build up. And then you've got probably 3 laps. We saw Chaz Mostert do 3 flyers before. 24-year-old Italian driver's been part of the Audi stable for a while. His dad raced at Le Mans, did he not, John Hindhoff? Mattia Drudy's father, he raced in a Dodge Viper and a sequel Porsche for a while. So good racing heritage as Aaron Cameron comes across the line. 23-year-old from Melbourne does a 3.7. First semi-representative lap time. They'll go a lot quicker, but that's a good start.
Did Yuka Teller go out and come straight back in again? I think he did.
He has.
Yes, in the 77 AMG.
Remember, the Mercs have been taking less time to warm up to get the tyre in, so they may be a little bit confident just to sit there and let it run until a little bit later in the session.
Are you allowed to make changes in the session?
Yeah.
So he could have gone out at 20, got some pressure in the tyre, come back in, let a bit of pressure out. Okay.
They could put another driver in if they wanted. There's nothing saying they have to have the one driver. I don't think they would, but you could.
So, I mean, the thing that's actually stood out to me straight away is we've done 8 minutes of the session and we still haven't seen a representative lap time. Aaron Cameron's laid down one, a 3.7. Chaz Mostert's done a 4.3. What did he do in qualifying? It was a 1.7?
1.5.
Yeah. So we're 8 minutes, spent 8 minutes of this session and we haven't seen a Hollywood lap time yet. On board here with Maxime Martin as he comes to the line and he does a 2:02.89. So now, with 6.5 minutes to go, the timing screen is just starting to light up now.
Here's the Audi. Strong across the top. He's got the purple middle sector. That's where the Audis have been so strong. Final sector's been their weak point this weekend. It's a 2.7, finds a 10th of a second, pops to the top.
Okay, this is starting to heat up nicely. This is like a good, it's like a good thriller, isn't it? We're just paging through it, and all of the little plot lines are starting to be pulled together, and we get to the last chapter, and we'll see everything getting paid off. I like this.
I hope it's more Apollo 13 than Bates Motel, but sure. This team have done a really good job. 2 mates, Sergio Perez and Marcel Zalua, they really enjoy their racing. They spend a lot of time in single-mate Porsche racing, decided to go halvesies and bought themselves a GT3 car. Successful business guys out of Sydney, just passionate motor racing enthusiasts. They are having a great weekend, really enjoying themselves. Good luck from Cameron. Holds in third position. The BMW having a go, Audi on top at the moment. Yet to see what Chaz Mostert has to offer in the 65 car.
It's looking like a good lap from Maxime Martin aboard the 46 BMW. I heard on the previous lap the tyre chatter from the BMW as it made its way through Forest Elbow, and it was evident again there. Augusto Farfus and Valentino Rossi watch on as their man heads down Conrod Straight. Don't tell me Valentino Rossi's not invested in results this weekend.
No,
totally.
This is the start of something new for him. He's dabbled before, but this is the start of potentially a run to the Le Mans 24 Hours. And that's what he's building with BMW. They're on the edge of the seat, so are we here in the Molly box.
More tyre shudder from this car. So that tyre is still not operating where it needs to operate. 2025, but there's more potential in that car. Definitely.
You need the front tyre chatter there at turn one as well. It's so much more noticeable now than, sure, less cars on the racetrack than it was in main qualifying earlier today.
Max Martin, who's had a busy opening to his year.
202 goes to the top. Aaron Cameron's on a solid lap here at the moment too, so continuing to impress.
This guy can steer, very highly rated by Gary Rogers, who used to drive for Garth. He's been racing two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive TCR cars, and then jumps from one of those in the same day and goes and races an S5000 open wheeler. Very, very diverse, capable racing car driver on the Tasman Series last year. He's a terrific driver, and he'll race open wheelers full-time this year, which is great. And this is his first experience in GT3 racing. Jim Cadella just building up. He's just
2.5. He was in the threes in the previous session, so he's found a chunk of time. He's only 3/10 away from two factory drivers. Like, he's only 4/100ths behind Maxime Martin.
And he's a lap behind everybody else, because remember, he went and did a lap, came straight in and went back out again. So in terms of his tyre and his tyre build-up, he's a lap behind everyone else that's out there, Juncadella.
First real representative lap from Juncadella, isn't it? So we'll get an idea of how he's travelling very shortly as he makes his way through the final sector. It's a 50.66 versus Aaron Cameron, who's got the fastest at the moment in a Mercedes at 50.1. So Juncadella continues to build speed on his first push lap.
Mosset's first flyer, his first proper push lap was a 2:02.26. Missed out the top spot by 4/100ths, but as we saw in qualifying earlier on, that car's got at least one more flyer in it, if not two. And with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go, he's going to get two. That's about it.
Yeah. You can see by just the body language of the car drive that he's starting to pick this up now. Yeah. He's starting to get, as our American colleagues would say, he's getting up on the wheel here. He's starting to just hassle it around and starting to push this car, which suggests, isn't it, that he's got more confidence, particularly at the front of the car.
Yeah, that's right. Running it very close to the wall as he came out of the dipper. Did Danny Juncadella. So this lap for the 77 AMG Mercedes will not go to the top, but it will start the process of getting the tyre into the operating window. And I think this next push lap for Danny Juncadella will be the representative one. And this will be it. This will be the lap that he will get. So running an alternate tyre preparation strategy in this car with the 77 team. 3-0 for him versus Druidi, who's fastest at the moment with a 2:02.2.
Remember, this is the bottom half of the top 10. Top half still to go. Just 5 cars out on the circuit. 90 seconds to go.
We're going to see our first 01 here from Chaz Mostert.
Fraser Ross watching on. It's an interesting choice of headwear for Fraser, and Liam Talbot watching on. What's Mostert got? It's good. 2:01.88 goes to the top. The big question, and he's got one more lap if he needs it, and I'm sure he'll take it. Will that be enough to stand up to all the heavy hitters yet to come?
Well, he did 3 very quick laps in a row in the previous session. He's done 2 prep laps and starts now, 1 out lap and 2 prep laps, if you will, and starts now his 3rd fast lap. We saw earlier just how consistent the Pirelli tyre was on that BMW, and Chaz Mostert seems to be able to get the best out of it. On that Audi, excuse me. Seems to be able to get the best out of it. Here's Max Martin.
Hasn't been a stunning lap from the BMW, if we're honest. No personal bests across the course of this, and aborts it at the end as well. So
that'll be it for them.
Yep.
30 seconds to go in this session. Juncadella out to the wall, coming out of Forest Elbow. So personal best, 6/10 away from what Mostert's able to do.
8th at best for car 46 moving forward. So see how that all plays out, unless everyone in the next session goes slower, of course, which seems unlikely. This is a personal best lap for Danny Juncadella. Made his debut here last year. Came into GT3 racing off the back of a successful open wheel career. Good to be back with Craft Bamboo Racing. They had such a good weekend when the weirdest strategy anyone's ever seen. They made 22 pit stops, I think, most of them before the first half of the race. Drops a couple of wheels off. Only gets a 3-0 at the end. But Chazzy's going quicker again. Another fastest of the session across the top of Mount Panorama.
What's the last sector like? Chaz wasn't able to light up the last sector in qualifying earlier, but he had a mega last sector in the corresponding session in the previous event back in May. He's up at the moment. Do we make the last corner? Apex it nicely on the gas early. Do we drop a wheel? Oh, we do not use any more. Oh, he improved by a 100th or so. A 1.86 for Chaz Mostert. Fastest so far of the bottom 5 in the top 10 shootout.
So third row of the grid at worst for the 65 sports bet car.
Puts a bit of pressure on the next 5 cars though. So Chaz has basically been, what did he do? He won 5, did you mention? So he's 3/10 away from what he was able to do in qualifying itself. And that gives the other 5 cars a bit of a benchmark of knowing where they need to, what they need to aim for, what they need to shoot for, what's potentially available to them.
So, slow down lap now. Top 5 to come. Chaz Mostert then, 2 quick laps at the end. So are we thinking now that the track is 3 or 4 tenths slower than it was earlier on?
I don't know, it's hard to know. I think Druidi has probably gone slightly better than he did in qualifying. Mostert a couple of tenths away. I'll tell you after we get the early running of the next 5 cars, I think.
Still the second quickest shootout lap in 12-hour history, remarkably.
We're setting a hard task at the moment, aren't we?
I'm pleased, Chris, he wasn't my geography teacher when I was at school or anything like that.
Nil par for you. So Audi 1 and 2 in that session with cars to come. The BMW, solid effort. Maxime Martin in third position in car 46. Valmont Racing, to get into the 10 was an achievement. They've gained ground. They're going to start this race at the very worst 9th. Could be better. And Craft Bamboo Racing rounding out the top 5. Top 50% to come, Shay Adam. We're really looking forward to that.
Yes, we are. Now that qualifying is done, all focus is moving on to the race for the Craft Bamboo team. And Nikki Katzberg, you've done this race before. You've raced so many different GT3 cars. Why do you think the Mercedes is the strongest car at the mountain?
It seems like a very good all-rounder. Throughout the weekend, all the Mercedes have been very fast. We are still struggling a little bit. Daniel just did qualifying. We qualified on all tires just to really focus on the race, save a set of tires, and then hopefully in the race we'll bring it to a podium.
What are you expecting for the start in the darkness? Are you going to let Danny do it, or are you going to jump in?
Well, I hope someone else does it, because it's scary enough in the daylight, so let alone in the dark, but we haven't decided yet.
Thanks, Nikki. Good luck.
Thank you.
What they lack in headwear taste, they certainly make up for in taste of co-driver. Hey, Fraser, very nice lap there from Chaz.
I mean, awesome. You know, he put the sports bet Audi right where it needs to be. You know, really, real good chance of being right at the pointy for the end of the field for tomorrow's long race. But you know, it's nice to come back here with the boys. Sports bet, everyone, Scuderia, G-Technique. It's been fantastic support from everyone, and you know, we're just happy to be here.
Team effort this one as well, because it's not about just one person in this qualifying format, Liam. Had to make sure that you did your job too today.
That's what makes it exciting, just those random things. And I mean, I went a second faster than I've ever been here in the 3s for an AM, so it's pretty cool. And Chaz did a mega job, so showed there was a bit more in it that I need to chase tomorrow, but excited for a long race.
If you're going as fast as Chaz, you're doing a very good job for a bronze. Hey, he's just pulled up down here, guys, so go give him a slap on the back and tell him job well done.
Thanks, legend.
Saw them out for dinner last night. Very relaxed, Chaz. Mr. Ross and Mr. Talbot, they're a great team. They've driven together for some time and they really enjoy their motor racing. Both Liam and Fraser, very handy, what you'd call amateur drivers, both very experienced as well. Liam's won the Pro-Am class in Porsche Carrera Cup, which is no mean feat. Fraser Ross, we mentioned earlier, a one-make Porsche champion as well. Chaz's CV speaks for itself in what he's achieved in supercars racing, and a factory BMW driver in sports cars for a while there, JH. It's a good benchmark.
And I'm liking the kepi, the headwear there. Very nice. Plenty sunlight, even if the wind is keeping the temperature feeling a little bit lower. And
oh yes,
nice,
outstanding.
That'll be played back when he gets home.
Yeah.
I know. Somebody will tell him he's been on there.
That's a very yellow Valentino Rossi spec helmet on that young lad.
Got a good setup here. This setup here, liking this. Oh, look what we've got in the foreground.
Oh, you are kidding me.
Hello. You thought we were just looking at a couple of dudes on their BMXs, Richard Cradle.
No way.
Did you go? Is that where you've been all afternoon? Did you go up and put that up?
They've got a decent beer fridge. Brad Gordon and the team at Shakedown. I know where you're staying.
How much did that cost you for that, Trailsy? How much did that cost you?
No, nothing. That's the concerning thing.
Oh, you did a deal to get that put up, did you?
Bit of contract,
Yeah,
you know all about that.
Good job.
They had a great meet-up last night, actually, downtown. About 150 of the Shakedowners were all there and let us go down.
You're in a good spot too there, entry to the chase. You've paid well to get good
quickest corner in Australian motorsport.
You get those fence posts moved for next year. You get a clearer look at your sign.
I'm glad they they picked my best angle as well.
Is that your Maserati in the background too, Rick?
Brett, we need to go to you, Brett. Please.
We'll be back together. All right, Maxine Martin with me. Maxine, happy with qualifying?
Yeah, it's not too bad, but at the end, you know, qualifying is on a 12-hour race here, especially it's not that important. We really need to have a good race car, which I think we have. Not really for qualifying, but at the end, like I say, it's the most important is tomorrow.
Good team, you guys are a good chance for tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. We have a good pace. We showed quite good pace from the beginning. And Valentino is doing a really good job here for the first time. Augusto knows the track, and I mean, we know each other since a really long time. So it's good to be back together in the car and, yeah, our first race together.
Do you talk much to Valentino? Does he ask much about this track and this car?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he tries to have all the information he can with Augusto, with the knowledge, my knowledge. And, you know, Valentino has this kind of mentality that he wants to win, he wants to progress, and he's doing a really good job at the moment.
All right, good luck for tomorrow. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
He's been busy.
Down to the Triple Eight garage to get a word with Roland Dane before this last part of the Pirelli Shootout. One of the more curious things I've seen here today is Shane van Gisbergen not qualify here today. Roland, can you tell us why that might be?
Oh, look, Brock felt very comfortable in the car. Shane didn't feel as comfortable and wants to concentrate on the race tomorrow. So, as we've seen in supercars, Shane normally races better than he qualifies. So I think we'll see that tomorrow.
Was that Shane's decision?
Oh, mutual decision in the team. We all decided together that that's the best way to prepare for tomorrow.
How good for Brock? We saw it at Bathurst 1000. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to do the shootout on that occasion. It must be a huge confidence boost for him.
Well, he said to his engineer, "You screwed me over then. Now give me something now."
Thanks, Roland.
The irrepressible and irreplaceable Roland Dane.
It's a nice compliment for Brock Feeney, though.
Yeah, true.
To jump in that car, and you've got a factory AMG driver in Maxi Goetz who could have qualified the car. You've got Shane van Gisbergen, who's in the form of his life, and the team have gone with the youngest, most inexperienced, but ultimately the fastest in Brock Feeney. So nice feather in his cap, building some nice momentum coming off the win at Adelaide last year at the final round of the Supercars Championship, and getting the opportunity to steer the ship in the main Triple Eight car, if you like. It's a fair feather in Brock Feeney's cap.
If you're just joining us, we have the shootout for pole position. The top 5 from the qualifying runs are ready to go. Already been a cracking Super Saturday. Huge crowd. The Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 hours is back with a bang, and the entertainment level has gone up a notch. The crowd has been huge. Thank you very much, all of you who have turned out here to indulge yourself in Australia's International Enduro. All right, then, come on, guys. Where's your money? Where's your money? Come on, Mr. T. What do you reckon?
Well,
it's got to be an AMG, hasn't it?
Well, when you look at the form, Mauro Engels laid down a 2:01.0 in qualifying itself. I liked the interview from Jules Gounon during qualifying where he said, "Oh yeah, no, I'll do the shootout this afternoon." I'm feeling confident, and he just looked like he had that air of confidence about him that, if that 2010 doesn't scare me, I can respond if I need to. So I feel like it's out of those two cars. I feel like it's either Maro Engel in the 999 or Jules Gounon in the Sun One Energy 75 AMG Mercedes.
They are really hot in that number 75 Sun One Energy car to defend the win 9 months ago, to sort of underline, to say, hey, look, that was no fluke. It was run under different considerations and a different situation. We won that fair and square. We're coming back here to compete and contribute again this year.
Yeah, and in theory, they're a pro-am entry because Kenny Hubble is an amateur driver. He does not do this for a living. He runs a solar energy business called Sun Energy One in the US, which is very successful, which pays for all of this. But they've decided to enter in the pro class. They've read their rule book and they've found some loopholes. And we'll unpick all this for you when we get into the race tomorrow about how they can manage this race and give them the best possible shot at winning the car race overall. They're not interested in a class win. They want to win this race outright. So that is fascinating. Just a little bit of housekeeping as we start this final 15 minutes. Car 74, that's the factory Audi. Matteo Druidi was behind the wheel. They're being investigated post-session for some breach of protocol in the session. So we'll follow that up for you after the session. But not a great day for the factory Audi team so far.
Yeah, finished in second position of the first 5 that went out, but that very much provisional until all the post-qualifying technical checks are done.
A little bit of change or difference in strategy here between who we predict are the 2 top runners. So 3 cars on track now, Brock Feeney, Jules Gounon and Matt Campbell in the Porsche. They've already left, they're already at the top of the mountain. Maro Engel, they were late to get the tyres on that car. We saw them rattle them up with the battery gun and then torque them up to the desired tension to make sure they were tight. But now they're half a track apart from each other, and the tyre prep will be different between these 2 cars.
Neither of you, esteemed gentlemen, mentioned Matt Campbell in your poll predictions.
Well, I didn't. You're right.
As I mentioned those 2 names and I said that it was going to be out of those 2, the one that popped into my head and I thought maybe I should have included was Matt Campbell, because he does some seriously impressive things.
That's pit lane speed limiter jammed on the Shell Helix BMW.
It is in the lane still, so that
is it? That's fine.
Okay.
Just as well it was jammed on.
Deep breath.
Good job then.
That'll avoid a penalty.
Never get me on the pit wall. Right, okay, that's perfect. Standing up wrist practice there then.
So the field heavily spread out, only 5 cars on the circuit for the Fast 5 to complete the top 10 shootout to set the grid for tomorrow's 12-hour.
BMW's gone Dries Vanthoor behind the wheel of the number 32 car that we just saw rolling out of pit lane. That is the absolutely jam-packed Paddock campground here. More than 2,000 campsites sold.
Wow.
5,000 or 6,000 people camping on the mountain this weekend. The top of the hill is absolutely full as well. So Sheldon Vanderlinde did the 201.70 to get them into this, and now it's up to Dries Vanthoor, the 2018 winner of this race, to do the job for BMW. Maro Engel is behind the wheel of this car. Matt Campbell behind the wheel of the Porsche, and Jules Gounon, as expected, behind the wheel of the Sun Energy One Racing Merc.
Given how good we are not at predicting things, you might be forgiven for thinking the teams have asked us not to talk about them. We'll either curse them or get things terribly wrong. Maro Engel then in the 999.
So he's on an out lap here to come to start his first time lap. One thing that just grabbed my attention was Matt Campbell in the 912 Porsche. He's come back, left pit lane, gone out and done 7/8 of a lap and came back into pit lane. So potentially a bit of tyre preparation or a bit of strategy involved there.
So 11.5 minutes remaining, and we're seeing something roughly similar, gentlemen, to what we saw in that first 15 minutes. Remember, we were well under 8 minutes before we saw a representative lap time come in, JT. And
calm before the storm right now, isn't it? It's all about preparation, getting yourself in the right tyre window, getting the tyres exactly where you need them. You only need 1 lap. So you don't need a tyre that's going to give me 3 laps in a row that are going to be fast over an average period of time. And I feel that that's where the Mostert car was. He was able to do 3 laps that were fast, but not that one ultimate lap to get everything out of the tyre. And I feel like now even Maro Engels gone out very late in this session. Matt Campbell come to the lane. They made some adjustments. Brock Feeney still warming the tyres up, and we've gone 5 minutes into the session. So now I feel like this is the first push lap for Brock Feeney. He's the first car on track in this cycle that will be starting the push laps right now.
This is why these sessions work. It's designed to suit these cars.
Yeah.
And the way they generate their performance takes a little bit longer. So the single car shootout, perhaps not so ideal. This, superb. And just to touch on a point, it was tyre pressures for the Manthey EMA team. They just bled the pressures right back down, sent the car back out.
And the reason they did that, Krelsley, is because it's a minimum of 1.4 bar that you have to leave the pit lane with. That is your mandate from Pirelli. So they left the pit lane. Matt Campbell went out, got some heat into the tires, which raises the pressure. Then they brought him back in to drop the pressure once again. So in essence, he is going out on better prepared tires, or so Manthey thinks, than anyone else in the pit lane.
It might mean, Garth, that he can push harder earlier and not risk over pressuring the tyres at that point.
Well, different cars like different tyre pressures, they like different things, so it's clear that the Mercedes is enjoying the new tyre pressure rule that comes with this new specification Pirelli tyre. To me, Porsche probably sounds like they like a lower tyre pressure, so they've come in, they've found a bit of a grey area in the rules. It's gone out at 1.4 bar. They probably built them up to 1.6, 1.65 bar, came back in, take 0.25 of a bar out, which works out to be about 3 or 4 PSI. And then go again, and when you're doing your actual push time, or your push lap, your tyres are at a lower tyre pressure. They still meet the minimum rule, you've just achieved it in a different way.
Remember what Garth was saying earlier on in our broadcast day here on Super Saturday. The front engine cars with the weight over the front wheel, maybe with a little bit of an advantage. The Porsche doesn't have that, and particularly on a short run, they're not even going to have the opportunity to put a lot of fuel in the car to put weight in the front. So I'm guessing that that was front tyres, to get those front tyres, to get the rotation into the corners. You have to have a good front end here. Understeer, push as the Americans call it, is the enemy of the fast lap. Wow.
Feeney right to the top, 201.67. For the Super Chick car from 888 Racing, did a 201.49 to get into the shootout.
And Gunon was on a lap to match or better Feeney's, but he's had a moment at the chase. So he's come out of the chase slowly. Here we go, we'll catch on the rear. Oh, loses the rear on entry, just snapped on him. So trying to carry the rolling speed through the chase, and the rear tyre wasn't ready for it. Watch it turn in, snap. And that's all it takes. You lose the rear, and you're beyond the threshold of the tyre, and you're in the grass. So straight away, it warms the tyre, gets the junk off the tyre, all the grass, all the sand, gets that off the tyre and has to start straight away. But Brock Feeney has punched a nice one out straight away. 2/10 the better of Chas Mostert from the previous session. Maro Engel, the fast man from Pirelli qualifying earlier. What does he have for us?
Oh, goes to the top. 201.2.
That's a big lap.
Feeney responds though and goes 0.3 quicker in the first sector alone. Brock Feeney has got his mojo on today, and after a really gradual build-up into this weekend, the 888 car is really starting to fire at the business end of proceedings on Saturday.
Well, Garth called it earlier on, when you've got a couple of superstars in the car and you pick Brock Feeney, then there's got to be a real confidence that he's going to do something, and he's repaying that with spades at the moment.
Doing a nice job. This is a fast lap from Feeney. The cumulative sector is faster than anyone to this point, and the number is seriously impressive. And this is typical of what we saw from Brock Feeney. Those of you that followed his progress in the Supercars Championship last year, over the course of the weekend, he just got faster and faster and faster and faster. Just continued to build his confidence. And now he's using that confidence in the car to set a lap time. It's going to be impressive.
Engels done a 201.253 in the 999 car, and also you're going to have to keep an eye on for Jules Gunon as Brock Feeney goes through. This is a real shootout. This is a battle.
Quali record 201.19. What a lap. Absolutely flying. Shootout record for the 12-hour. Engels responding. He's up. They're going zeros in this session. Surely they're going zeros. Gounon bumps up to third with a 2:01.46.
Yeah, but he had a poor middle sector there, Gounon, so he has not strung a lap together yet. 2 laps in a row where he's had moments. Maro Engel, who is seriously fast. He's 3/10 better than what Feeney was to the end of the second sector, guys.
Puts him in a 2:00.09.
This is one to keep an eye on. Does he get it stopped at the final corner?
Pole position here in 2014 with Erebus. Just gets it through. Murray's
the
2 wheels off. Maro Engel, 2:01.08.
That was a 0 if he did not drop a wheel.
Goes to the top. Still 5 minutes. Still time. We're yet to see anything more from Dries Vanthoor, and Matt Campbell's only just started his first real push lap.
Yeah, correct. 49.8 in the first sector for Matt Campbell in the Porsche. 31.3 in the middle sector. This is going to bump them up into the top 4. But remember, he's well behind in terms of tyre life. He's got more Pirelli tyre performance still to come. Has he got the time, Garth, to exploit that?
Oh, there's still 4. It'll be 4.5 minutes before Campbell, as Campbell goes to the line, so that's enough for 2 more laps. Watching this lap from Brock Feeney, he's done a personal best to the end of the second sector. That's still about 2.5 tenths away from what Maro Engel was able to do at the end of the second sector on the previous lap for him. But remember, Engel dropped it in the last corner and dropped 2 wheels into the dirt. Campbell crosses the line. He goes to 4th with a 2:01.4, and that car will continue to get faster. What does Feeney have? Does he make the last corner neat and tidy? Yes, he does. Does he improve his lap time?
Yes, he does.
But not enough. A 1-0, though, regardless of what happens in this session for Brock Feeney, that is seriously impressive.
All of a sudden, the Porsche feels a threat. It's only got 1 lap under its books, 1 push lap, and Matt Campbell's only 0.38 away from provisional pole. Maro Engel's 2:01.08 backs up his 2:01.05 to get into the shootout. Utterly relentless consistency from the group of M Racing 999. Here's Campbell, right out wide on the exit of the Audi Sport Cutting.
Let's see how he goes through the first sector at a 49.8. He's done about the same. He's a tiny bit slower than he was last time around. Most people were improving around about 2 to 2.5 tenths lap on lap. And Matt's really running out of time here, but he will have 2 more to go.
Engel's just done a 2:01.09, so almost backed up, or did to a 10th, almost to 100, backed up his provisional pole lap. Look at the rear end of the Porsche dancing around as it goes down into the elbow. What's the second split? Still down 7/10. This isn't going to be the lap for the young Queenslander.
Feeney's on a personal best at the end of the first sector. Still a little bit away from what Engel was able to do. He's done a personal best in the second sector, and that now is a 10th better than what he did on the previous lap. He's only 8/100ths behind Maro Engel. Feeney's final sectors have been seriously impressive. If he can string one together here, it could be Brock Feeney that sets the record.
Here's the Porsche. Campbell gets it stopped into the final corner.
He's not even going to be as quick as the previous lap, Grillsy, so he needs to get a tidy exit here and set off on another one. He's got the Shell Helix car ahead of him.
Personal best final sector. Here's Feeney. Personal best first and second. Is it enough to get him to the top?
No. Went away in the last sector. Talked him up, and it didn't come for Brock Feeney.
Engel gave away a 10th in the first split. The bright yellow Mercedes AMG gave away a 10th in the middle split.
This is a much longer run from Maro Engel than what we saw in qualifying earlier. Remember, he did that 1 preparation lap with a 2:06.5, then he punched out the 1-0, and then he put it away for the rest of the session. So Engel's in uncharted territory here as far as tyre wear, tyre temperature, tyre pressure. Potentially, he's rolled out of it. He has rolled out. I mean, he's still on pole. And everyone's probably gone over the tyre performance window here, with the potentially only car that still has speed in it is Matt Campbell in the Porsche. He's on a personal best.
So he's first and second at the moment, this Engel, just. And he just lifted off there, but he's going again. He didn't pit. This will be his last opportunity. And meantime, Matt Campbell has a personal best in the first sector, which is on a par with the 4 cars ahead of him. Now, can he string this lap together and start to improve? He will get 1 more at the... now, Willie, a minute from here. it's going to be tight.
He's about 2/10 away from Brock Feeney's best to the end of the second sector, and Feeney has a 2:01.09. So what's the Porsche got? What's Matt Campbell got in the final sector? Dries Van Thor's just up the road. A nice little carrot for Matt Campbell to zoom in on. Sends it in deep. Jeez, that was deep in the... I thought he was off. I thought he was off. That was seriously deep.
Pole position in 2020 for Matt Campbell.
Best in the middle again, Krilsey.
It was Porsche's best qualifying result at Bathurst. Can he do it again? He'll get one more lap. Is there improvement? There is. He goes third. Look at the margins. He's less than a tenth from pole, and he's not even on the front row. He's got one more opportunity.
He's out of it.
He's out of it.
He's out of it. So Gounon now.
Personal best.
Personal best. Middle sector. I feel like this has been a scrappy session for Jules Gounon. Hasn't been able to really string one together.
I think he'd be the most disappointed of anybody out there because that car has had the pace.
Close protection, please. Checkered flag.
So this is it. Checkered flag is out. What does Jules Gounon, the reigning champion, what does he have for us? Fastest final sector. Goes faster, but not fast enough. 2:01.29. Stays fourth place. I think that's it, guys.
I think it is. Maro Engel is safe to secure his second Alan Simonson pole award. He was on pole here almost a decade ago.
So I think that's it. The grid order might not change, but the lap time might.
2 minutes 0.8, he's got it! Engel goes sub 2:01.
That was it.
Right at the very end. To put an exclamation point on an unbelievable day for Gruppe M Racing. And the quickest day in 12-hour history goes the way of the German, who scores his second Alan Simonson pole award. He's yet to win this race. The big prize is tomorrow, but my goodness, has he delivered today.
That's a seriously big lap at the end. You know it's the last lap. You know it's time to deliver. He had pole position already. Yeah. Why not put an exclamation point on it?
Top 3 laps from that car.
Well, all
Top
that car.
3 laps. 2 minutes, 0.882 of a second. So under 2:01. Was there a 2 minutes? Oh, yes, there was. Yes, there was. But they had to work to put that together. Exactly what Garth Tander was saying when I asked him where his money was going. That is impressive. Impressive from Maro Engel.
That's the quickest qualifying session in Bathurst history, right there.
Oh, by a margin. I mean, you're fourth with a 2:01.3. You would have popped the champagne doing a 2:01.3 any other year.
Before that lap, the top 3 was separated by 75 thousandths of a second, and he just goes and puts 0.2 of a second on the field.
This has been a supreme driver and car performance all day because this car has been quick across all 3 drivers. That's the thing.
Just looking at the sector times, if you put an AMG theoretical lap together, the fastest 3 sectors from the AMG cars, it's a 2:06. Jules Gounon has the fastest final sector. That was 0.2 faster than what Maro Engel did on that lap, that 2:08 lap. So the AMGs, they look like the cars at the moment. Seriously in the window, exactly where they need them to be. It was Engel with that record-breaking lap, 2:08. Seriously impressive. What a job by Brock Feeney to be front row, surrounds himself with factory GT3 drivers on his home turf to start from second in the Super Cheap Auto AMG. Matty Campbell, what a pro he is. Jules Gounon, don't beware the wounded bull tomorrow. He might be disappointed today, but that guy was impressive last year. But talk about impressive, Maro Engel delivered. Richard Crail, he asks for things, he gets them.
He does.
He asked for a 2-minute something, Maro Engel delivers.
Just underlining what we've been saying about the race tomorrow, about the Pro-Am and the silver cars. Chaz Mostert in 6th, outside of the 3rd row. That car has pace, and fast forward to, this time tomorrow, and we'll be watching this, except it'll be at the front of the field for the big trophy.
There's a bit of pressure on the shoulders of Liam Talbot and Fraser Ross, because if they get that car into the mix at the end, they'll be a contender. But right now, this is the story. This Hong Kong flag team, they've been racing for a long time. They've come here before and they've come agonisingly close to winning this race on several occasions. They always find themselves in the mix, and this year they've got an all-star squad. with two of the best that have been here from an international point of view. For the second time, Maro Engel wins the Alan Simonson Pole Award. And appropriately so. Alan, one of the most spectacular drivers we ever saw here. That's why the award was named after him. And that follows in everything that Alan set down as a benchmark all those years ago.
And it's something as well that the drivers, I think, really appreciate the enormity of what they've done here, because a pole position's nice. A pole position at a 12-hour race maybe doesn't count normally for quite that much because you've got so much racing, but this is Bathurst. This is doing the job absolutely perfectly, Garth. We've been talking about the 1%ers. You can't be 0.5% out if you're going to do a time like that here. And I'm just going to say it again, by the way, 2 minutes, 0.882.
And we thought he was over and out. We didn't think that he had any more in him, because in qualifying earlier, he did the one preparation lap, the one hot lap was the 2010 and parked the car. And we thought that potentially he'd used too much of the tyre in that battle that he was having with Brock Feeney for the top spot, but left it to the very last moment of this 15-minute qualifying session and absolutely delivered under pressure. That was seriously impressive to watch.
Out of the pits for 6 laps, and 3 of them were good enough for pole position. Now, that's not a bad strike rate. If you were doing that in the major leagues in baseball, you'd be Hall of Fame, and that's what that lap was.
Big celebrations down here for Maro Engel. He's lined up next to Mick Grenier, Raffaello Macchiello, the 3 drivers combining to put this car on pole. And Maro, you got the job done with an electric lap time. What did you think when you saw that number pop up?
It's amazing. I'd a bit lost for words. I mean, the grip level this weekend has been just amazing, and obviously partly due to the new tyres, but also just the grip around this place, and it's just mega. Big thank you to the team, to these guys for trusting me, and to the team for an amazing car. It was a pleasure.
And you did your part too, Raffaello, by obviously that first qualifying session today by helping Maro to get the car into the top 10 shootout.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for tomorrow, but we know it's a 12-hour race. It's more important, the long run compared to quali run, but I think we can be strong also tomorrow.
Mick, give us the atmosphere down here in the garage when you saw Maro ripping up those lap times, particularly right at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, it was super close, but Maro had the pole already, but he did a really good lap. So far the team has been working super well together. I think we have a super fast car, but as Lello said, it's a long race tomorrow, 12 hours, so we have to survive and have a good car for long runs.
And now the special moment of the day. We've got Pirelli here with the Alan Simonson Trophy, one of the most prestigious trophies you can win here in Australian motor racing. Alan was one of the fastest guys around here in the mountain, but now it's Maro who's the fastest here at Mount Panorama. Congratulations to the team down here at Car 999, winners of the Alan Simonson Trophy for 2023.
And Brock Feeney with me. Brock, fantastic. Only your 5th time in one of these AMG GT cars, and you get yourself into 2nd position on the pole.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, 4th or 3rd in qualifying, and to move up a little bit and close the gap was good. I'd be lying if I say I wasn't a little bit disappointed. There was a tiny little bit left on the table, but yeah, Maro's very quick. 2/10 on the last lap. So yeah, it's a good starting spot for the 12-hour.
It sure is. You're on that front row. Enjoy it tomorrow. Good luck.
Thanks very much. Hey, Nan.
Matty Campbell, a 2:01.1 around the mountain is a great day for any other day, but this qualifying session was just ruthless. No more pace in this Porsche, eh?
No, I think I got absolutely everything out of it. I mean, I thought there might have been a couple of scratches on the mirror at one point. I think as a lap, it was probably better than my 2020 pole lap. But yeah, we just didn't have the pace today. So second row start, it's not too bad. We've got 12 hours, so anything can happen.
And you guys have a good car for the race because you've been working on that setup as opposed for going for qualifying, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for a qualifying car, we haven't really done anything to it. We just basically took the fuel out and that was about it. So no major changes except for a couple of little things, and been working on a race car. For sure, we aren't quite happy yet, but I think we've got a direction now. And there's going to be so much evolution on the track tomorrow as well over 12 hours. So we just make it good at the end and hopefully we're somewhere.
Good luck for 5:45 tomorrow evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Chad, what a great day. Fantastic setup for tomorrow. Now all eyes focus on race time tomorrow. We cannot wait to get it underway. We've learned so much today. We've learned who's quick, who needs work to do. But of course, as we know with this 12-hour race, everything can go out the window.
Oh, it's going to be an early one. Not for you. You used to get up nice and early. Me less so in the motor racing world. I love what Valentino Rossi said at the beginning of the day. Why does it start so early? It's
a 12-hour race, Valentino.
Exactly. 5:30 a.m. We go green at 5:45. You do not want to miss those beautiful pictures of the dark sky, the sunrise here at Mount Panorama. Hey, coming of age of Brock Finney today.
Massive.
Filling in for Shane Van Gisbergen. What a fantastic job.
Yeah, it is massive tomorrow morning. Get up early. It is worth it. You'll enjoy it. We'll see you back here with all the team bright and early tomorrow morning from 5:30 a.m. for the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12-hour. We'll see you then.
That is the quickest lap by GT3.